Buongiorno! We're going to go to Seradifalco in the province of Calatanissetta, a province we don't go very often, so this will be interesting. Then we're going to go to Tortorici, I just like to say that name, in the province of Messina, the ancestral hometown of our friends Tom and Karen.
You know, Esther, both these places are great places to go to if you are a billy goat, because there's not a straight street in either one of these
Well,
places.
Google Maps, you know, that's a story for a little bit later. You want to hear this, but I want you to pay close attention at how everyday Sicilians stopped what they were doing and went out of their way to help people find their ancestral home. It's quite a story.
Let's go to Seradifalco in the province of Calatanissetta. Once a very important mining center, now its economy mostly relying on agriculture. Here is where we meet our new friends. And here we go again with these hills. So we're talking to these nice people. I started talking and asking about Karen's grandfather who left from Seradifalco, and it looks like lots of people from here left from the 1890s to about 1920. Many of them left to the United States, including his uncle and his grandfather, and now he's thinking, well, maybe I know someone of the same name as well, and I'm going to research it. Oops. And basta.
Locurco Carmelo.
Locurco Carmelo is a high school teacher, and this is a maestro de arte.
D'arte, Michele Di Francesco.
So these are the things that I do. Stop people in the middle of the street and ask about family. And he's going to look in the archives of the comune because he loves doing this stuff. Grazie.
No, grazie a lei. Via Piazzotti dov'è via Piazzotti? Da sotto onde? La valetta di Agustini. Questa chiamata.
Via Piazzotti. Okay, let's go find your grandfather's birthplace and look at everyone following us, trying to help us. Going to Karen's grandfather's home. Apparently, this guy writes for La Sicilia.
Concerto, banda musicale lui.
Oh my gosh, and this guy is the head of this band over here.
Yeah, you get that.
The road we have to go up on. Here we go again. Here it is. Karen's ancestral home. And no, what was your grandfather's name?
Arcangelo.
Arcangelo. Karen.
I never imagined that we'd actually find where he was born, let alone anybody who would know of the family.
È stata rifatta, no?
Cool. Sì.
Gattalora.
E significa?
Il gatto non esiste.
Sì, cat.
Cat. Oh!
Cavallo?
Sì. Tutto in gesso, queste tutte case in gesso erano tutte grande chiave di ferro per aprire.
So when it rains, the water would come here, not on top of the people.
Fresco. Sì, capito?
Non hai bisogno aria condizionale. In the old times, this would say cool in the heat and warm in the winter.
Si chiama Dammoso.
Dammoso perché è piccolo.
Dammoso perché è piccola
casa.
Sì. Un importante centro miniere di sulfuro.
So this was a big sulfur mining place, just like Montedoro.
E poi anche di sale potassico.
Ah, sale.
Potassico, sì. miniere importanti.
Lots of mining was very, very
In cui
important.
lavoravano tante persone.
E oggi
Oggi
sono andate.
sono tutte chiuse, tutte chiuse.
Tutte chiuse. Via Palermo.
Ora vi facciamo arrivare direttamente lì. Buon Jesus.
This is so beautiful. Look at this.
Dove dite voi?
And this is where we started our journey.
Dove siamo arrivati? Gli americani che hanno parenti siciliani possono ritrovare le loro radici, perché è una cosa bella, è una cosa importante.
See, he's saying that how important and how it makes them happy that Americans of Sicilian descent come back here and find their family.
Sì, sicuramente, perché io credo che loro qui hanno un pezzo di cuore, un pezzo
A
di
piece of your heart is here. That's exactly what he said.
Io ho visto quando lei si è avvicinata a quella casa.
When you were
via
near the
Piazzotti, lei era
Emozionale.
non lo voleva fare capire.
Yes.
Still can't believe that we actually found his house that he was born in. Who'd have thought?
Io veramente sono felicissimo.
This is what I have
È stato
chills right now.
un incontro
I have chills.
casuale, ma proprio per questo è stata una cosa bella aver contribuito a dare qualcosa.
This is what you call a Sicilian parking job. The guy can't even move. Carmelo's a school teacher. He writes for La Sicilian. He has a passion for researching. And listen to this, 36 hours after we met him, he already wrote us some information about Karen's family. He was able to go into the archives. And the most important thing that he said was, a piece of your heart, you as a Sicilian watching wherever in the world, lies in Sicily. And why don't you come and find it right here in Sicily?
I had two revelations, okay? The first revelation is what we already know, that all these small little towns in the hinterlands, and believe me, this place is in the hinterlands, the people like that are so giving and helpful. That's number one. But number two, which really should be number one, I don't think anybody in that whole town has ever played marbles. Because if they played marbles on a street like this, forget about it. You're not going to be able to do it.
All right, let's go to Tortorici in the province of Messina. Now, before we go, let me just tell you that, yes, we put it into Google Maps because I had never been there. They have never been there. And it looked like we were taking the shortest and best route, but boy, the places we ended up. But the good thing is, there were some out-of-the-way streets like this, and sometimes we wondered if we would make it, but the views of Etna and these little streets were marvelous.
Now let's go to Tortorici in the province of Messina, in the heart of the Nebrodi Mountains. Google Maps took us through some back roads that led to some magnificent views. That is beautiful. Here's the centro. Tortorici, città della campagne. That is so cute.
We found at least 2 ships manifest.
Della zona è la prima, la pasta reale, quella là è il dolce tipico della zona.
Pasta reale.
Tortorici, sì.
That's it. That's
Quale?
what Mary wanted.
Questo è il dolce tipico tortoriciano.
E come si chiama? Come chiama?
Pasta reale.
Pasta reale.
Pasta reale.
Con amandola?
No, nocciola, nocciola e zucchero.
No hazelnut and sugar.
Do you want
E invece queste?
Tutte così con la nocciola, questi qua sempre
Everything
sono,
with hazelnut.
questo è il croccantino, sempre con nocciola. Pasta di pistacchio, toroncino al pistacchio.
Tutti prodotti da questa zona, vero? Da Nebrodi.
Delle nostre zone.
All the cheese and salami, prosciutto. That is pretty impressive. And here are all the local products right in a basket. Of course, hazelnut, everything. Hola, right there.
Le provole grandi. Le avete viste?
All the beans. Not for the faint of heart, these streets.
It's like people live to be 100.
In these small towns, maybe.
Right here. We're almost there. Maria Santissima Assunta, 1800s. Very pretty. San Francesco, 1500s. That's the Duomo. You know what it is about these little towns in the middle of nowhere, that everywhere you turn, there's just
Something.
an awe-inspiring scene. Oh, there's another little road over here. Another little road over here. This is quite a little cute town. Giuseppe Miranda. And there's the Duomo. That's where we climbed. Both your grandparents on your father's side. And what does he think he's like? Oh my gosh. A sports car or something? Very, very lush with citrusy fruits.
Batch.
For a quarter batch of the main recipe that I can only contribute to my mother-in-law, who created it many years ago. It's been a family favorite. We all make it. We all love it.
Cinnamon, ricotta,
Cream.
cherry, cream,
Nuts,
chocolate,
chocolate, and a little confectioner sugar for sweet.
So now we're just breaking up the ricotta. How much ricotta did I put in? A cup?
About a cup.
Chopping up the cherries.
Yep.
Next we're gonna chop up some nuts and cinnamon.
And shave some chocolate.
That's a winner.
Wow.
It's
Everything
different.
mixed together.
It is very different.
But we didn't have the whipping cream. We had cream, no whipping cream. All right, let's do it.
Okay, let me. When you put it in the hot oil, it kind of bubbles because of the liquid in it, so it makes it very light.
What are the ingredients in your
Flour,
Salt.
sugar, eggs, whiskey, and there might be something else that I've forgotten right now. I use small tubes, so you get a small cannoli. But after a big meal, you don't necessarily want a big cannoli.
So good.
Egg to
You
fill
need one
these.
of those things that go like this, right?
It's
Yeah, exactly. But when you're
these
only
are so small.
when you're only doing a few, I found that you lose more in the piping
Oh, you
bag.
do?
I don't
Excuse
like losing stuff like that.
No,
I
I
can
don't
lick
either.
a lot of things, but licking a piping bag just doesn't work.
So how?
Here we go. This is ricotta, huh?
This is Tom's
Mother's
family's recipe.
Totally different.
Which I discovered she created. I did not know that until this
It's the
Christmas.
only thing my mother ever made
love
the
it.
same each time.
Excellent.
It's true. My mother never made the same thing twice. I don't care if it was scrambled eggs. She'd make this the same every time. That's the only thing she ever did, was make this the same every time.
Alfredo, don't you have an announcement about our Sicilian project, which, by the way, is our nonprofit?
Yes, I do. Listen, this week we kick off our 2024 teaching thing, so we decided to have a fundraising raffle to help defer some of the expenses. Right now we have actually two, one in Calatanissetta, and as Esther mentioned, we're kicking off in Acicatena. So here's what the story is. First, go to www.thesicilianproject.com. Go to where it says donate, and donate $50 or €50 or $100, etc. And in return, we're going to send you, for every $50 that you send, entry number for our raffle. It's going to be a 60-40 raffle, 60% for the Sicilian Project, because after all, we're trying to raise money, and 40% for the winner. We'll draw it right around Easter.
And by the way, max of 4. So max of 200, you get 4 numbers. For $50, you get 1 number.
Right, and then there's only going to be 200 chances. And we're going to keep it going till at least Easter. If we don't sell them out by Easter, whatever we have, we have. But that's hugely important for the Sicilian Project, so we can get it going. Because right after that, come the springtime, Father Camello is going to want us to help him with the big summer program over there, and that's going to mean raising more money. So now's the time to do it. So please give us a hand. www.thesicilianproject.com, and when you go to the donate, if you don't want to use the online icon, you can send a check.
And the information is there.
And the information is there. Okay.
What did it feel like walking on the streets, touching the house where your grandfather was born there too?
Yeah, my grandmother.
Grandmother
was, it's wild. You don't think, because I never knew a family being here. We assumed everybody went to America and there was no relationships back here. Now I'm convinced there might be somebody left. It's just,
find them.
They didn't write. I mean, I think once they got to America, that was it. They had to survive. And they survived, but they kind of lost contact with who was left behind. And now we're trying to find them.
Some recipes have been passed down.
Oh, yes.
Like what?
Yes. My grandmother used to make, my mother would always say that she wanted her vision. And she prayed to St. Lucy that she would keep her eyesight. And every year, on St. Lucy's Day, she would do the boiled wheat. That's all she would eat because that was her...
Which is what
I'm not sure what the date is. Okay, but she would always talk about her grandma eating the boiled wheat. And that she had, as far as I know, she had her eyesight. But she had a brother who was at the blind school. So we know there was some vision issues in the family.
So you have all 4 of your grandparents.
Correct.
Sicilian.
Correct.
From?
2 from Tortorici, 1 from San Piero Pate, and 1 from Bagheria.
This was the first time.
It was the first time.
Tortorici.
Correct.
Oh my gosh, the ride getting there, that was half the fun.
Yes.
What was it like walking on the footsteps of your family?
Well, first of all, it was a surprise because everybody told us it was mountainous. And we ended up in a valley.
It was mountainous to get there.
Yes, but...
we went up the mountain, through the rivers.
But it was in a valley, and I found that the town was open, nice, quiet, clean.
Did it feel like to walk on the footsteps?
It was like it's about time, if that makes sense. Not emotional as in, oh my gosh, as much as I've been to Italy a number of times, I've been to Sicily a number of times, and had not taken the time to go there. And Esther made it work, and we got there.
And so this was your grandfather.
Correct, and grandmother.
And grandmother, because they both went there.
Correct, Golotti and Mazurko. Mazurko was my grandmother's
Went to New York.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. My grandfather...
So what did they do?
My grandmother worked at the Worsted Mills in Jamestown, and my grandfather worked at a local furniture factory as a sprayer. He lived about a half mile from the factory. And I think this is the kind of things that we get lost. He would go and walk to work every day with basically a white shirt and a tie. He'd get to work. He would take off the white shirt and the tie, put on his coveralls. He'd do his work. Then, before he came home, he'd take off the coveralls, put on his white shirt and tie.
When people did things
He had dignity. He was proud of himself, even though he spoke hardly any English. He definitely didn't write English. And his family, he knew there were certain things that were important to make them successful.
What did he call you?
Tamitu.
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 And what are your memories of your grandfather?
My greatest memory is I can still smell him rubbing his cheek against mine, all the whiskers. I can smell the coffee, and I can smell the cigarette. It's right there.
It's Grandpa.
Yep,
it's Grandpa.
It's my grandpa.
Exactly. And he was with us on that trip the other day.
Yes, he was.
You know, he was smiling and saying, "Good job."
Yes.
Good job, Nipote. What do you say to people who are perhaps thinking of coming and visiting their ancestral home?
You got to want to. It can't be something that's casual. You've got to want to. Usually it is a trek. It takes time to find out where you're going to go. And then to get there, depending on where your ancestral, unless it's one of the larger cities, it takes a while to get there. Tortorici was an interesting ride, which Esther will tell you.
Tortorici and Seradifalco. I'm happy that Tom and Karen got to see their ancestral homes. It's an experience that is so important and one of my favorite things to do.
You know, Karen's a retired pharmacist and Tom is a retired optometrist. They're from the state of New York, and they came with us to our
New Year's
New
Eve.
Year's in town.
Oh, and did you see their dancing? Oh boy.
The ballroom dances, aren't
My
they?
gosh.
These people know how to trip the light fantastic. I don't mind telling you. So anyways, they're wonderful people, and I'm thrilled to death that Esther was able to escort these people to, you know, both sides there of the family, and give to their children some good video work, you know, for their cultural heritage. That's what I want to say.
So listen, besides these videos, we have a new thing going on. We have our newsletter to be starting this month. If you're watching this in January, and if you want to sign up for a newsletter, www.youmeandsicily.com. It has a lot of the news of what's going on. And what is going on, Al? It's January. I'm playing my cello. I'm cooking. We have the Sicilian project going on. Of course, we have these videos. Alfred's working on his screenplay. What else are we doing? We're keeping
First
busy.
of all, let me just push. Let me go back for 1 second. Her cello, she's getting better and better and better and better every week. You know, she has now a private lady coming in here to teach her stuff and
remind me of stuff.
Remind her of stuff. Okay, but let me say this to you. Every time I hear Esther play, she's getting better and better and better. And I really want to compliment you for your stick-to-itiveness, I guess you can say. But then again, that's how Esther is. For those of you who know Esther, know that she's like a pit bull. She doesn't give up. So I'm happy that you're doing that. I'm writing a screenplay, and at some point in time, I'll give you a little bit more information about it. I'm actually going to be collaborating with a couple of my friends who are in the Foreign Service to get accurate information about it. It's a pretty good one.
Pretty good. So that's what we have going on. Thank you so much for watching, and of course we'll see you on another video of You, Me, and Sicily. Arrivederci, ti voglio bene. Ciao.
See you, Bill Belichick. Bye.